over the weekend, the White House came out with the shocking announcement, the creation of a federal red flag gun confiscation office. Yeah, that's right. As if the out-of-control ATF raiding small businesses, flashbanging, arresting, and even killing gun owners and violating court injunctions wasn't enough, now we're all going to have to deal with a federal office with a mission to disarm gun owners by confiscating their firearms. So, if you weren't hiding under a rock from the news and social media this weekend, you probably saw the tweet from Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Justice Department. The launch of the National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center will provide our partners across the country with valuable resources to keep firearms out of the hands of individuals who pose a threat to themselves or others, said the Attorney General. The establishment of the center is the latest example of how the Justice Department's work to use every tool provided by the landmark Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to protect communities from gun violence. All right, so let's break that down. What does it mean? Well, Extreme Risk Protection Orders, or ERPOs, is the left's not-so-subtle language for red flag gun confiscation. So here we are with a national red flag gun confiscation center. The news of this broke on Saturday. Garland's statement was accompanied by a major speech in Florida by Vice President Kamala the Clown Harris, the architect of California's gun confiscation squads, which have been roving across California for the better part of the last decade, disarming law-abiding gun owners in that state.
FBI, open up!
Literally hours after Congress passed a $1.2 trillion spending bill on Friday, in the wee hours of the morning, Harris was in Florida bragging about this new national red flag law and urging more states to sign on to it.
You know, there are only about 21 states that have passed red flag laws. So part of why I'm here today is to challenge every state. Pass a red flag law. Of the states that have passed red flag laws, approximately 21, only 6 have taken up the offer that we have made through our administration of federal resources to help them with the training and the implementation of these red flag laws. Of the 21 that have passed red flag laws, I challenge the others, come on over. We got some resources for you. The second reason I am here is to announce that today I am launching the National Resource Center for red flag laws. And this National Resource Center will be a place where we will, through that, provide for training for local leaders on how to use red flag laws and keep communities safe.
Congressman Thomas Massie, the most pro-gun member of Congress, immediately fired back with this tweet which reads, "What the hell is this evil? A federal red flag center? We did not authorize this." Well, it's true in last week's bill, which did contain $25 million for gun control studies and another $50 or $60 million for other anti-gun initiatives, that bill itself did not fund this new office per se. According to The Hill, a woke DC news rag, the center will be funded through the Department of Justice's grant stemming from the bipartisan gun control bill that Biden signed into law in 2022. And Harris is demanding states coordinate with the office to use the resources from that bipartisan gun control bill to implement red flag laws. But to really figure out how and why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were able to erect this new gun control office seemingly out of thin air, we've got to take a step back because they did not do it without help. Spoiler alert, the politicians to blame aren't really the Democrats. We expect this kind of evil from them. But it's the low-T, excuse-making Republicans like Texas U.S. Senator John Cornyn who allowed the Democrats to do this in the first place by voting for the so-called Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. They voted for this gun confiscation back in 2022. We warned Cornyn and the other dozen or so Republicans who supported it that it would lead to national gun confiscation. Here we are. Thanks, guys. So what exactly are red flag gun confiscation laws? Probably need to explain that. If you haven't been following this for the better part of the last 6 to 8 years, red flag gun confiscation laws are laws that allow law enforcement to seize legal firearms from law-abiding citizens without due process. About 21 states have them to date, and the process involves a secret accusation or a petition to the courts and an ex parte hearing that you won't even have the right to be at, much less mount a legal defense against. If that petition is granted, cops will show up at your door or your home or your place of business and immediately seize your firearms for a temporary period of time. You don't get to confront your accuser, and now you must beg the courts to get your gun rights back. At first, the petitioners who were filing these were supposed to be law enforcement officers or family members, which, of course, you know, is like your crazy liberal Aunt Betty. But gradually, we're seeing that the states are expanding the pool of people who can file these petitions to include teachers, counselors, neighbors, and pretty much anyone who doesn't like your politics or your pro-gun social media posts. In other words, red flag laws give anybody, and I'm talking about almost anybody, a reason to immediately disarm any gun owner at any time with a court ruling. It's like having a few million woke redcoats running around America, and now there's a federal office designed to coordinate it all. Guys, the National Association for Gun Rights warned these knucklehead politicians that this is exactly where this was going. Take the guns first. Those words, uttered in late 2017, sadly by President Trump, sparked a wave of anti-gun red flag laws beginning when U.S. Senator Rick Scott, then governor of Florida, signed Florida's red flag gun confiscation law in March of 2018. Fast forward to the summer of 2019, Republican senators like John Cornyn, Rick Scott, Marco Rubio, Mitt Romney, and Susan Collins, they were all pushing for a national red flag program, and they even sponsored their own red flag gun confiscation bills. Thanks to the lobbying power of grassroots gun owners like you, it didn't pass in 2019. But really, by then, the damage had been done. These Republican cheerleader senators, by the time Joe Biden took over in 2021, nearly 24 states had adopted a red flag law. And the work that the Senate Republicans leaders did to lay the framework on this gave Joe Biden the blueprint that he needed for this National Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which was announced earlier this year, as well as the massive federal red flag gun confiscation grants that were included in the 2022 bipartisan gun control bill. A reminder, Senate Republicans could have blocked that bill in 2022. All you need to do to stop a bill in the Senate is deny the other side 60 votes, and Republicans had more than enough numbers to do that. But eager for a kumbaya moment with Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on guns, Cornyn and McConnell's and others, they voted for it. And here we are. So now, Kamala Harris on Saturday gets to announce the creation of a national red flag gun confiscation program. And the White House is backing that up by saying that only 6 of the 21 red flag states have actually taken the red flag funding that was made available under the 2022 law. But actually, I think they're lying, because the problem is far worse than that. According to the government's own website, 46 states, or at least 46 states, have taken the red flag grant money, or at least parts of it. And we're going to post that link. Even states that don't have an official red flag gun confiscation law on the books are already being hooked on that crack. And in fact, this was kind of one of the things that John Cornyn and the Republicans were stressing about it, that we have to make these fundings available for states that haven't passed red flag laws so they can somehow control it. And in fact, John Cornyn's home state of Texas took $21 million of the funding. Arizona took $6.1 million. Pennsylvania, a state which has already stripped gun rights from nearly 10% of its population, took $8.5 million. And voting for that was one Republican Senator Pat Toomey's, the former senator from Pennsylvania's, final parting gift to gun owners. I'm afraid it's not likely going to get any better so long as slimy Republicans keep voting to hand national gun confiscation wins over to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democrats on silver platter like this. We have to draw a line in the sand, here and now, not just against Joe Biden, but also Republican leaders in the U.S. Senate, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, and all of the goo-goo Republican state lawmakers who keep sponsoring this nonsense. So please, sign your petition against the red flag gun confiscation laws right now. We're going to put up a website, gunrights.org/redflag. That link is going to be below, and if you sign your petition, we're going to deliver it to Congress and your state lawmakers. If your state has a red flag law, we're urging them to repeal it. Come on, guys. Florida, Indiana, Republican pro-gun red states, it should already be off the books. If your state does have one or doesn't have one, regardless, we're going to urge them not to take the money from the feds and to not cooperate with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on their new National Gun Confiscation Center. And finally, elections have consequences. Get out there and vote pro-gun. Not just in November, but in your state's primary process. Many states are picking the Republicans right now who will go on to the November ballot. And elections have consequences. If we end up with the same Republicans who handed Joe Biden a win on gun confiscation and they can get away with it, then we'll never rid ourselves of these kinds of anti-gun policies, even if Republicans retake Congress and the White House in November. So please, again, hit that subscribe button. Tell us what you think about these red flag gun confiscation laws and this new announcement from the White House this weekend in the comment section below, and sign your petition. We need your help, and the only way we're going to stop this is to get every single gun owner involved. Thank you very much. God bless.